And we are live. Welcome, 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 everybody. It is Thursday night. It is 5 o'clock. That means it is time for our live stream. And I'm super excited today, slightly nervous because as we do, we're going to switch things up a little bit. And we are going to do a limited series, or maybe not a limited series, depends on you and whether or not you enjoy this one. I'll probably stumble through this one, but it's going to be a limited series called On the Rocks, where we are pairing the allure of fine living meets the richness of fine bourbon, because I like bourbon. And if I like bourbon, you might like bourbon as well too. My name is Adam Miller with the 941 Lifestyle Group, real estate agent and lifestyle matchmaker and enjoyer of bourbon. I am by no means a bourbon expert, just an enjoyer of this delightful yet complex beverage. So I want to welcome you to the live stream. Do me a favor, as always, comment down below. Where are you guys watching from? What kind of questions do you have? What kind of comments do you have? Did you watch any of our other live streams? If you're watching live, I appreciate you joining in. If you are catching this on the replay, appreciate you guys watching. Super excited. So we do this every Thursday night here on the channel. By the way, if you don't know, we actually have two YouTube channels. The one you're currently watching now, 941 Lifestyle Group. And we have another one we do just home tours, and that is 941 Premier Home Tours. So that's something that tickles your fancy. Check it out. So the 941 Lifestyle Group, the one you're currently watching, that's all about Lakewood Ranch. So as we typically do, here's what we're going to talk about. Except for this time, we're going to talk about a little pairing of some bourbon with pairing of a Lakewood Ranch neighborhood. We've got some real estate that I wanted to go over with you. We have some great Lakewood Ranch stories that I thought might be of importance. And then I'll answer any questions that you guys might have. Drop them down below. Actually, I was going to show you. Never mind. I'm going to do this one. So I got myself some notes. So in today's episode, we are going to pair, should be fun, Old Forester, Statesman. It's a bourbon inspired by the spirited cinema of the Kingsman, The Golden Circle. Not a movie I've seen, but I'm going to watch it now because I'm intrigued. And we're going to pair that with the vibrant community of Dell, Webb in Lakewood Ranch. Old Forester Statesman bourbon. It's from Kentucky. It embodies a bold, smooth taste that stands out with intense spice. It has a little spice, a little hint of vanilla, a little hint of clove, and a little bit of oak. Those are traits that resonate well with the mature, see how we did there, refined atmosphere of Dell Webb. So known for its exclusive crafting from hand-selected casks, this bourbon mirrors the selective approach Dell Webb takes in crafting an enriched living experience for his residents. So this is going to be 95 proof, 47.5 ABV, which is alcohol by volume. You probably get it for like 40, 50 bucks. You buy it pretty much everywhere. They have an entire series. This is kind of, I want to say they're regular. For me personally, I kind of like the 95% proof range. It's spicy, but not too spicy, and you really get to enjoy and appreciate the full flavor. I am going to drink it out of this. You guys seen these glasses before? I absolutely love these. These are called Glencairn, as opposed to a rocks glass. I guess you could put an ice cube in this one. And here I'll tell you my two thoughts on this one: the right way, the wrong way to drink a bourbon. I don't know. I've heard you should not put anything in it and drink it just neat. That means just straight up, just as it is. I know people who put just a teeny bit, splash of water. I know people who will put in just like one teeny rock, just a regular little teeny ice cube, or the block rock. I guess there's probably no right answer, no wrong answer. Many years ago, when I lived in San Francisco, I spent a lot of time in the wine country. And I remember one of the tours I took, the guy said, listen, I'm gonna make this really simple for you. There's 4 kind of wines in the entire world: red wine, white wine, the kind you like, the kind you don't. So if you're a purist, you're going to drink it just like this is neat. So what I love, look at that caramel color. Oh, just beautiful. So right off the bat, you smell, I don't smell spicy at all. You definitely smell vanilla. By the way, the good thing about using a glass like this is it does enhance the aromas and the flavors of the whiskey. So I'm told. So they usually say the first sip is the spice, where you taste the spice. Now I know with the higher proofs, definitely burns. This one got a little burn, but not really too much. Let's take the second one. Oh, it is just delicious. By the way, I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to say this one. If you're going to drink responsibly, be 21 years old, and don't drink and drive. Get that out of the way. Anyway, I really like this one. I have some notes, so I'm just going to read you what it said. Dell Webb offers an exceptional lifestyle for those seeking activity and community in their retirement years. It's one of the few 55 plus communities. There's one of two, although there is a third one opening probably next year, Dell Webb Catalina, with state-of-the-art amenities such as a fitness center, resort-style swimming pool, and various clubs and classes. Dell Webb is a hub of engagement and luxury, which is true. I love Dell Webb. I have a lot of people we know who live there. We've been to events there. My friend's in a band. We've seen her band. The community's focus on high-quality, active lifestyle parallels the crafted quality and vibrant flavors of the old Forester Statesman, making this pairing a reflection of sophistication and spirited living. See how I did that? Here's why they pair well together. The robust, complex flavors of Old Forester Statesman, with its spicy and citrusy notes, enhances the lifestyle at Dell Webb, where every day is about living life to its fullest in a community that cares deeply about comfort and quality. Just as the bourbon reveals its true character after a little bit of heat, so does life at Dell Webb shine brightest when its residents engage in the warm, welcoming community activities and amenities it offers. Sounds like a bunch of crap to me, right? Anyway, that's what we're going to do in this. I'm going to pair some bourbons with one of the communities. I probably have 20 bottles of bourbon. So that's going to be 20 weeks worth, 20 communities worth. I've planned out a bunch of these, assuming that, you like this type of content. We're still going to dive in. I'm just going to start off talking about this. All right, let's dive in. Let's get on with the show. All right, a couple things first. I got a new toy today. I wanted to share that with you. I'm kind of a YouTube video nerd. Got the new Wireless Pro. That's 2 microphones and a wireless transmitter. This one I'm excited and nervous about as well too. I'm committed though to figuring out how I'm going to utilize this, and it's a mic. So it hooks up with, I don't know if you can see it. There we go. Hooks up with those microphones I just showed you. Hi, it's Adam Miller on the town, and I want to do an interview about blah, 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 blah. What do you think? So I do a lot of videos out and about in Lakewood Ranch. I'm going to put somebody on the spot, have some interviews. I've seen other real estate agents who do kind of the man about town videos, and super excited. So I just posted today on Facebook that on our YouTube channel, which really we started in January, second week in January, uploaded 60 videos just to the first channel. I think the second channel, the 941 Premier Home Tours, I want to say we probably have, 15 videos on that one. And currently that is all model home tours. Eventually it's going to be our listing tour videos. Although we did an open house and I did a tour there in Dell Webb. You should go check that out, by the way. And it might be other real estate listings like this open house one. I know we have been doing videos now since we started the channel in 2013, 2014. I'll kind of backtrack a little bit and kind of tell you the story if you don't know the story. So lived in the Lakewood Ranch area since 2008. Did real estate here. After 2019, my wife Jessica and I, who's also a real estate agent, we packed up and moved to Maui, Hawaii, and we're there for 5 years. Real estate agents there as well too, and came back about 5 months ago to Lakewood Ranch. So we were really starting all over again. New team name, all brand new, all brand spanking new. New YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel on Maui pretty much started in 2013, but didn't really do anything until 2019, and grew it to, I think, 6,600 subscribers, like 1.1 million views. We've closed about $25 million in real estate transactions, specifically from video, whether that's YouTube, primarily YouTube, but also Instagram, Facebook. Now we're on TikTok, by the way, Adam Miller in Florida. You can connect with me on any of those sites. So we've been doing video for a long time. That channel on Maui, we uploaded 750 videos. It's phenomenal. And I did a live stream for a long time. So this, I want to say, is like our 5th live stream. And yeah, we know it takes a while to kind of build up the viewership. So for those of you watching, we really appreciate it. Drop those comments down below. Those are really important to us. We definitely will respond back to you, especially if it's live and you're doing it. But yeah, we appreciate that. So let's dive in and let me share my screen and let's get on with the show. Share my entire screen. Bam. So this one I thought, not really part of the story, but I wanted to share it with you because Saturday at Benderson Park, if you don't know Benderson Park, they have one of the largest rowing competitions in the country in Benderson Park right here. Technically not in Lakewood Ranch, but it's just across I-75. So it's 2 miles from Lakewood Ranch. But I'm doing my first 5K at 56 years old. Been practicing pretty much since we moved back to Florida. I've been hitting the gym every morning. Now, granted, 5K is 3 miles, but, you know, hey, at my age and at my weights, I'm pretty excited to do it. So that is this Saturday. I think the race starts at 8 o'clock. So super excited. And there's also a paddleboard through the lake. Super excited. It's going to be an awesome event. And I thought I'd share that with you. So if you're in and around, feel free to stop by. There's plenty of parking. It's right behind UTC Mall. You can't miss it if you get off I-75 at University, headed toward the west. It's the first exit. You can't miss it. Cannot miss it. All right. So want to dive in to talk about some stories that I thought may be of interest to you. Progress continues on new schools in Lakewood Ranch. First of all, I think it's awesome that we are getting some new schools here. Now, we don't have any kids, but I think it's important. Because I know that there's been so many people who moved here that a lot of the schools are over capacity. So the school district of Manatee County will have many decisions to make as it intends to open the new high school off of Rangeland Parkway. I'll show you the map in August 2027. That seems like it's forever. It's 2024. It could take 3 years to build a school. The high school on Maui took 10 years. That's a whole nother story. The high school will be on approximately 103 acres of land south of Rangeland. So just so you know, so Lorraine Road runs north-south. State Road 70 runs east and west. It's probably just about in the middle of Lakewood Ranch. There's one more road that runs east-west, State Road 64 to the north. To the south of State Road 70 is University Parkway, and then south of that is Fruitville Road. So maybe it's a little north part of Lakewood Ranch. So there is another school. I'll get back to that in a second. So the capacity is supposed to be 2,000 students, but the district needs to consider the programming that will be offered at the school. That's going to determine the school capacity. He said schools can vary in size. He's planned high schools with capacities of 1,200 students to over 2,000 students. But it just seems like it's a long time. And it's going to cost $150 million. It's going to help alleviate overcrowding at Lakewood Ranch High School. That persists. The overcrowding persists despite the fact that they just completed a 22 classroom addition. So clearly that's going to be an issue. As the wait continues on the new high school, East County residents can watch the new K-8 school in Lakewood Ranch begin to take shape. So that, like I said, is to the north at State Road 64, just about as far north as Lakewood Ranch runs. That is on 40 acres, which is on Uline Road. Uline Road is east of Lorraine Road and also runs north and south from State Road 64 all the way down to currently State Road 70. I'm not sure if it's ever going to, it's not going to cut through because there's other neighborhoods there. Anyway, the elementary portion of the school is expected to open in August of 2025. It includes classrooms for kindergarten through 5th grade, as well as core facilities for administration area, media center, kitchen, dining room, classrooms for art and music. Glad to see that they are still teaching art and music in Lakewood Ranch. Kudos to you. Shame on those schools that took those services away to the kids. Not cool. Not cool. Anyway, I don't have kids, so take that for what it's worth. The middle school portion of the school is expected to be completed in February of 2026, so not as long as it's going to take for the high school, and welcome students in August 2026, so that's still 2.5 years away. That school is projected to have 1,620 students with the potential for an expansion that would add 250 students to the capacity. And that school is going to cost approximately $106 million. All right. Thought I'd share that one. This one, I read this article today. Just today, May 1st. It was yesterday. I just read it today and I was like, isn't that interesting? Because besides liking real estate, besides liking bourbon, I love fishing. Honestly, one of the reasons we moved from Maui, Hawaii, back to Florida. I know it seems crazy. An island chain in the middle of the Pacific Ocean would be great for fishing. There's definitely great fish here. Don't get me wrong. You got tuna, you got mahi, you got great fish there. Just not so easy to catch. I like the fishing here. And kind of like a wine, the longer it sits out, I personally like kind of like that caramel flavor, caramel flavor, vanilla. Not a big fan of like cloves and the spice. But yeah, and quite honestly, that was probably a bigger pour than I would normally have. The reason I got into bourbon because as I enjoy, as I got older, something to sip on. And real quick, I might regret this, but as I'm reading this article, there is here on the left that pops up as an ad. We want to list your home for 1%. Yeah. In the absence of value, there's price. When you have nothing to offer, you discount your commission. So shame on you too. If you're watching, shame on you too. You should be embarrassed. Know your value, know your worth. Why do I say that? Go to Starbucks, ask them how much their venti lattes are today. You know what they're going to tell you? Look at the menu. That's how much our venti lattes are today. So yeah, that was embarrassing. All right. So here's what's interesting about this one. I digress. So in a community built around lakes, Lakewood Ranch isn't regulating very many of them. That might change this summer, which I thought was really interesting. I was like, nobody's really managing that one. So as of now, only CDD1, and I'm going to talk about CDD1, which includes Summerfield and Riverwalk, which are two of the original neighborhoods from the 90s, has regulations in place regarding the lakes and ponds and activities that they might attract. And the reason I'm bringing up is because, one, if you live here, you should know this one. And if you're considering living here and you like fishing, you should probably know this one as well too. So there are some regulations. Boating is only allowed on Summerfield, Heron, and Trophy Lakes. Now, I've done a bunch of videos there. I did one called Hidden Gems in Lakewood Ranch. I just recorded an entire video, not about Summerfield, but in Summerfield, the lake is gorgeous. The park is gorgeous. There's trails through there. But I've seen little kids in boats, little trolling motors, doing some fishing there. But this I thought was, to me, quite shocking that it was even something to even remotely consider. Catch and release fishing is mandatory for bass and swimming is prohibited. Well, clearly swimming is prohibited because there are alligators. Yes, there's alligators in Lakewood Ranch. But catch and release, who is possibly taking fish from the ponds in neighborhoods in Lakewood Ranch? Now, I've eaten bass before, but those ones that I caught were, anyway, it's like a 2,500 acre park that I had to bike 20 miles to get to. Pretty fresh water. In a neighborhood, not so much. Now, I'm not sure if they're using pesticides, but anyway, who is possibly taking fish? You have to catch and release fish. So I was surprised that needed to be said, but clearly needs to be said. And it even says here, everyone has always assumed that it was catch and release, but some people are getting fish and putting them in their coolers and bringing them home to eat. Are you kidding me? Anyway, the end goal is to come up with a policy that will apply across ponds and lakes in the entire community. CDD4, which includes Greenbrook Adventure Park, another great park, Actually, I went bass fishing there the other day and slayed it. Why? Because it's a park and most people catch and release, so the fish get to stay and live forever. So you catch it, you look at it, you maybe take a picture, you throw it back, so other people like me can go catch it. They're looking to add an additional rule after last 4th of July when the pavilion burned down from some stray fireworks. Come on. The rule is simply no fireworks. It's only legal to set off fireworks on 3 days of the year in Manatee County, July 4th, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. But if a CDD or homeowner association bans fireworks, then they're banned in any common area on those days too. Anyway, I'm going to go through a couple of these, but then I want to talk to you about what a CDD is, because a CDD is not found everywhere throughout the country. It's found throughout the country, but not in every neighborhood. So very quickly, some of the water rules. Fishing is not allowed behind a private residence without permission of the resident. That makes sense. You don't want people walking through your backyard. But I think every neighborhood has homes that are on ponds. You don't want people walking through your neighborhood. Fishing, catch and release. Come on. Fishing is restricted to 1 rod, a drop hand line per person. No set lines are allowed. No gill or throwing a net of any fish is allowed. Fishing with live bait is prohibited. Seems like a no-brainer. No vehicle parking is allowed on common grassy areas adjacent to any lake in order to fish on that lake. Now, I have seen this happen a ton of times. There's a road that I'm familiar with that I'm not going to tell you about, that there literally is no place to pull over, but there's probably like 8 lakes on it. And if there's 8 lakes and no place to park, that means there's probably a lot of fish in there. But the only way to get there is if you walked, which would be far, or took your bike, which would be far. I guess that's probably the only way you can get there. I guess maybe you can take like a little scooter. Anyway, no fishing is allowed between dusk and dawn. That makes sense. Boats shall not be any longer than 16 feet. Use of gas-powered motors or other internal combustion engine is prohibited. Electric motors are restricted to the maximum thrust of 47 pounds. There's no lakes. Actually, I guess Kingfisher Lake and Waterside is probably big enough to have a motor that big, but you probably don't want to have that one. Okay, so really quick, I want to talk about what a CDD fee is. So in addition to your monthly taxes or your annual taxes, your monthly homeowners association fees, your utilities, your mortgage, there's also, certainly in Lakewood Ranch, most of Lakewood Ranch, there's what is called a CDD fee. And again, all of these stories, I will put links in the description down below, so you can check that out. So CDD stands for Community Development District. It is an entity that develops the land, provides infrastructure and amenities, maintains the community and its amenities, and works to provide a higher standard of living for homeowners. I wish that they had this in Hawaii, specifically on Maui. Not that I digress, but one of the challenges with affordable housing in Hawaii is that the state or the county requires that the developer pays for all the infrastructure, which is kind of what this is. However, it's basically a reimbursement. So somebody has to pay for it, but then it gets paid back over many years, usually 20 to 30 years. So basically the way this works, let's just say you bought in Summerfield in 1995 and you started to pay the CDD fee. By year, don't hold me to this number because I don't know what the exact number was in Summerfield, if it was 20, 25, or 30 years. But if you bought that house after it sold the second time in 2000, the CDD fee would have been paid for 5 years with me so far. If you bought the home again in 2010, 15 years, it would have been paid for. Anyway, fast forward, those neighborhoods are either at or past the time when those CDD fees are being charged. So eventually there is no CDD fee being charged once it is paid off. Like I said, it could be 20 years or 30 years. Anyway, that is what a CDD fee is. I'm not going to bore you with all the details. I will put that in the description down below. Quick drink of water. Quick plug too. Lakewood Ranch all day. Google that. We created a store with all sorts of cool stuff. glassware, t-shirts, stickers, towels, pillows. It's got some cool stuff in there. All right, moving on. This came out just yesterday. I read it this morning. I kind of knew it was massive, but did not realize just how massive it is. And the reason that I wanted to bring this up as part of the story, for those of you who are thinking about moving to Florida from another state, and whether it's Lakewood Ranch or primarily coastal communities. Now, Lakewood Ranch is 20 miles inland, give or take. We still obviously can get hurricanes, but Hurricane Ian, which hit not last year, year before last, 2022, $21 billion in claims, primarily in Lee County, Charlotte County, Sarasota County. So just so you know, without looking at a map, there's Manatee County to the north, Sarasota County just below that one, Charlotte County just below that, and then Lee County. Lee County, I think, was the one that got hit the most. That is Sanibel Island. That is Cape Coral. There was another article I was going to share that just came out today. There are over 4,000 homes currently for sale in Cape Coral. We were going to move to Cape Coral before deciding to move back to Lakewood Ranch. And quite honestly, we drove down there, and most of the homes were still with blue tarps. I mean, that area was, you can see the picture. That area was absolutely decimated. There was a great documentary we saw on TV about Cape Coral. Beautiful town. It's all about the water life too. There are canals, I don't know how many hundreds of miles, maybe thousands of miles of canals. But the problem is that those are all man-made canals. So when you get a hurricane that comes in like Ian with a storm, 150 mile an hour winds, which says, and a storm surge of at least 15 feet, that just means that the water rose 15 feet. So almost all single level homes flooded 15 feet, right? It's higher than, almost as high as your roof. And just about every 2-story home had damage on their main floor, even ones that were pole homes, meaning that there was no living space underneath, but they're on poles. And the first floor is, basically your second floor at 15 feet. Unless your pole was higher than 15 feet, you got damage on your first level. And even 2-story homes, unless you had 15-foot high ceilings, higher than 15-foot ceilings, it is likely that your second floor got damaged too. So that article about Cape Coral talked about one of the reasons that they believe that a lot of people are selling is because they just got tired of repairing after each hurricane. Anyway, the hurricane hit September 2022, causing damage to more than 500,000 of the state's residents. That's a lot. It's one of the reasons that most of the insurance companies left the states. One of the reasons that insurance premiums skyrocketed. It's a disaster. Slowly getting slightly better, but catastrophic storm surge, heavy rain, 150 mile an hour winds wiped out and damaged structures, as well as some roads and bridges within Fort Myers. Fort Myers Beach got devastated as well too. But get a load of this. Across Florida, there were 776,941 claims filed following the storm from homeowners, commercial property owners, businesses. More than 558,000 of those claims were for residential properties. Over 33,000 of the claims were for commercial properties. Oh my gosh, it was just terrible. In Lee County, about 74% of claims were closed with payment. That's great. The data shows in Charlotte County, about 80% of the closed claims resulted in a payment. And in Sarasota County, approximately 69% of claims were closed, resulted in a payment. More than 2/3 of closed claims resulted in a payment based on the data. Of all the claims in Florida filed following the hurricane, 529,000 claims, a little more, were closed with payments. Get a load of these numbers. Counties that filed the most claims following Ian: Lee County, right, which was Fort Myers, Sanibel, Captiva. And those have been devastated. They were devastated by Hurricane Charlie about a decade or 2 decades before that one. It's been a couple. And then Charlotte County, and then Sarasota County. Anyway, it's something that you want to consider. But listen to this. The total, I'm going to read the number. The total estimated insured losses were 21,308 million? That's billion. 21 billion with the B, 386,266,489,000. That is just catastrophic for state of Florida. And quite honestly, whether you believe in global warming or not, that is just devastating for a state. All right, let's move on. I did want to talk a little bit about real estate. We've been doing this every week for the last couple of weeks. Excuse me as I try some of our old Forester statesmen for those interested. And you can get this anywhere. You can get it. Publix Liquor sells it. Total Wine sells it. Okay, so this is why I wanted to show you this one. We're doing this every week. I'm not going to go through the full details. We're looking at this circle right here, the market watch. And this week, more than any other week, it's vitally important that I show you this one because for some reason or another in this area, Sarasota and Manatee County, when listing agents take a listing, they always seem to, whether it's a 6-month listing or a 12-month listing, have the listing date expire at the end of the month, the 30th, 31st. So on the first of every month, there is what is called expired listings, listings that failed to sell. So the reason I wanted to show you this week is because the first of the month happened within the last 7 months. And so the number of expired listings was 105. 105 properties failed to sell. Now, I've said this before. I know a lot of people don't love to hear this one. We've had this experience for the 11 years we've been in real estate. Some people love our honesty. Some people don't love our honesty. We've said it before that overpriced homes, they just don't sell. The data doesn't lie. If you overprice a home, it doesn't sell, fails to sell, and it expires. So whether that was 6 months or 12 months, a property failed to sell. So this last time around, 105 properties failed to sell. Make no mistake about it. Obviously, you have to do great marketing. Obviously, the home has to show well. Can't look like a dump. But as I always say, a home that is on the highway will eventually sell for the right price. 105 expired. These numbers have been pretty consistent. New listings, 433 in the past couple months. 512 properties have sold. I did want to show you, I pulled this up, new listings, and I'm not normally going to go through all the properties that are for sale. Oh, shoot, I got to sign back in. Oh, logged out too long. But new listings, I did want to show you this one too. And I think you can see that one. The most expensive home to get listed this past week by the one and only Joel Schimmel, great luxury real estate agent. Wait, is this it? Oh no, this is a different one. This is by Ash Keever. This is in Lido Shores. Oh no, where to go? Hold on. That was not the one I wanted to show you. Let's go back. Or was it? Oh yeah, there it is. New listings. This is the one in Lido Shores by Joe Schimmel. He's a great luxury real estate agent. I, of course, can help you with luxury real estate, but he's been around for a while. This property was listed for $25 million, $700,000, 6 bedrooms, 6 full baths, 3 half baths. I'm not going to go show you the whole thing, but I had to show you just a little bit of it because it is just unbelievably, ridiculously gorgeous. And yeah, if you know somebody who's looking for a $25 million property in the Sarasota area, man, look at those views. Just stunning. Congratulations to Joel. That is a beautiful property. Like I said, I don't normally pull these up, but I saw this property. Look at that fire pit. It's just stunningly gorgeous. I will put a link in the description down below just in case you have any interest in this property. It is a little over 8,900 square feet and totally impressed. Stop sharing. All right, stop sharing. Cool. So, hey, do me a favor, drop a comment down below. I certainly want to know where you are watching from. I definitely want to know if you have any questions about the real estate market here in Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, Manatee County. And almost as importantly, I want to know if you like this idea of us pairing some kind of bourbon with one of the neighborhoods in Lakewood Ranch. Like I said, not a big priority, but it was a good way for me to kind of talk about my two passions, which is bourbon and real estate. Eventually, I'm going to do some fishing. I'm not sure I'm going to do fishing videos on a live stream. And do me a favor too. Now would be a great time if you like this type of content. Subscribe to our channel. We have the two channels: 941 Lifestyle Group. That's the channel you are watching right now. We also have 941 Premier Home Tours. Quite honestly, I'm really enjoying doing that one. The channel you're watching now, about Lakewood Ranch, more educational tips about selling, things to do in Lakewood Ranch, obviously real estate in Lakewood Ranch. But the home tours, I really love doing the home tours. I did a home tour video today in Monterey in Lakewood Ranch. So I talked about it a few weeks ago on one of the live streams. One of my new favorite communities. It is in Lakewood Ranch, but not really in Lakewood Ranch. It's 3.5 miles east on Fruitville Road, a gorgeous neighborhood. Anyway, these live streams, they are all about you. It's a great way for me to connect with you. Great way for us to talk to you live. So feel free to tune in every Thursday at 5 o'clock. Whether you watch this on the replay, doesn't matter. Drop the comments down below. I can do these for 20 minutes. I can do these for an hour and 20 minutes. All depends on your interaction. Now, I know we're just restarting these against you, but I know from previous experience, when I did my live streams, we'd have dozens of people on. Now, I also know from experience that most of my friends who do real estate live streams, the vast majority wind up watching it after the fact. It's hard to time the live stream so that they're great for everybody in every time frame. I know this is right before dinner time, so I know Jessica is cooking dinner because I smell it right now. So I am super excited for that one. Wish me luck with my 5K. My goal is to walk and run it under an hour. I've been just a little bit over an hour as I'm training. I've been training on a treadmill, so I know that's a much different than running outdoors, but it's going to be in the morning, so it's not going to be too hot, and I'm super excited. So wish me luck. I'm hoping for under an hour, and yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.